Now we turn to global warming. National awareness of the dangers of global warming has escalated, but there's no national strategy on reducing global warming. So California state politicians are grappling with the problem and proposing the Global Warming Solutions Act. Both the business and environmental communities are weighing in as the landmark global warming bill heads for a vote in the legislature. With me are Patti Krebs, director of the Industrial Environmental Association, and Stein, a member of the Environmental Entrepreneur Organization of the National Resource Defense Council. Lee and Patti, thanks for being with me. So let me start with you, Patti. What would the bill do?
AB32, it is the bill pending now in the California legislature, would put a cap on emissions. It would cap certain types of industry, electricity producers, oil and gas refineries, landfills, and cement producers.
Go ahead. That's it.
I would say that it's a California-only strategy. I think that is one of the underlying concerns, is that it's not a national program, but a California-only strategy to address those industries.
So how are those industries responding, those that would be most affected?
I think the ones that are most affected have already done quite a bit to reduce their emissions. They already have taken the easy path to getting any kind of emission reductions that they can. So any future reductions will be dependent on some technology development.
So are they resisting it a little bit?
I think it's not resisting, but concern as to how they can meet the target.
Mm-hmm. I was saying, okay, now, Lee, California, we know, is the 8th largest economy in the world. Is this state's economy powerful enough to chart a new national strategy on global warming?
Oh, absolutely. There's a couple different points to look at. One side is capital investment, and the second is what states are going to follow. Almost all environmental policy has started in California being the leader. States follow, and then the federal government follows, which is the way it's historically been accomplished. That's what's going to happen. Again, California will take the lead. With the last environmental bill, after California passed the bill, 10 states followed California. We're also finding, Gloria, that even countries like China are starting to follow California by adopting policies that are related. And this particular bill will drive capital investment in California in a look, global warming and the risks associated with it are the greatest risk facing our state right now.
All right, let's go back to the idea of California leading the world on this. Mm-hmm. Patti, do you think that combating global warming should be an international effort rather than a patchwork of state regulations begun by the state of California?
Certainly a national effort. And there is also a group called the Asia-Pacific Partnership, which together India, China, Korea, Japan, Australia, and the United States are looking at ways that they can cooperatively work together to voluntarily reduce emissions.
So you think it should be a voluntary effort rather than an effort that is mandated by legislation?
Yes.
And do you agree with that?
Not at all. One of the issues you have to look at is technology. California has been the leader in the software industry, the high-tech industry, the biotech industry. By putting these caps into place, it will let venture capital investors, it will let the investment community know that this is the right place to invest so that we can become the world's leading exporter of clean tech energy.
Yeah, but I noticed that the California Chamber of Commerce and business groups say that the global warming bill will drive up energy prices and push companies toward less regulation. How do you respond to those concerns?
There are 8 pages of businesses that are in favor of this. It's going to create competition in the state in the energy field. It will actually drive the costs down. There are multiple studies that prove it. And that chamber isn't really as focused as on the small business as it is on some of the larger constituents.
What do you think, Patti? Could existing industries adopt clean sources of power, for example, and give up and accept a cap on greenhouse emissions mandated by government and still prosper economically?
I think that the California strategy is technology dependent. And that technology, though, has to be developed at a pace to backfill any jobs that might leave the state, because we're expecting that there will be some leakage. Some industries, some jobs will go across the borders with these caps, with these mandates, and it won't solve the problem. It will just transfer the problem.
So are you talking about a new technology, so-called clean technology, that needs to be developed?
There are only so many ways to address the carbon emissions. You have to use less energy, or you have to improve efficiency, or capture the emissions, or substitute for the emissions.
Well, let me just ask you this. Would the Global Warming Solutions Act spur investment in clean technology at the expense of existing industries?
I think some of that will occur, and I think that's one of the safety valves that we want in the bill, that if that is occurring, if the technology development isn't keeping pace, if it isn't verified and tested technology, the innovation takes time, that the caps can be relaxed.
The bill is designed that there's 6 years for people to get up to speed in this. The capital has already started to flow in. As a matter of fact, Gloria, companies such as NanoPower and Mia Soleil have just announced building green energy, solar energy plants in California. So those jobs are coming in. Our risk is really losing jobs by not becoming the technology leader of clean tech, and this bill will assure that California owns that space.
The governor's climate action team says it's going to release a report next year detailing the possible economic impacts of the Global Warming Solutions Act. So why move forward and pass this bill before the study is completed?
There have been multiple studies that have been completed. As a matter of fact, actually the climate action team is predicting job increases in California as a result of this. The interesting thing is the governor's targets and this bill call for us in 2020 reaching 1990 levels. And the interesting thing is that Germany and Japan are already at those levels today. This can be accomplished. The arguments that, and we appreciate the fact that Patti agrees that new technologies are necessary, and we think that this will cause those new technologies. Anybody who's innovative from a standpoint of business endorses this bill. People who have entrenched interest may not be as supportive.
I would say that there's just too much reliance on the technology coming into place. Part of the whole strategy is based on the acceptance of these technologies worldwide. We don't know that the marketplace is there yet, or that it will ever be there. The other thing that people don't realize, too, is the magnitude of the cuts. If you look over the course of the next 14 years, every household, every business will have to cut their energy usage by 40%. And that's in terms of today's population. It doesn't even factor in the 27% population growth projected by 2020. Okay, these are going to be difficult mandates.
We only have seconds left. When is action on the bill expected?
By Thursday midnight.
Okay, last 10 seconds.
$30 billion left California this year to buy petroleum. If that money stays in California, it's $2,500 per household gain.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Patti Krebs, Stein.
Thank you.